Good morning. Today is Sunday, March 7th, 2021, and I'm Margaret Drugovich, the president of Hartwick College. It's been a cold weekend in Oneonta, a high of 21 yesterday with a feels like temperature of under 10 degrees for most of the day because of that winter breeze. Today should be a little bit better, high of 28, though it's going to feel cooler because of that winter breeze. But much of the accumulated snow is gone. We are definitely making our way towards spring. Today I provide my COVID update by sharing with you what I've heard from our community over this past week. First, let me tell you who I heard from. I heard from state and federal legislators and higher education leaders from across the state during a meeting in which we spoke about the impacts of COVID. I heard from the presidents of the Empire 8 Athletic Conference during our discussion about the impacts of COVID on the spring season of competition. I heard from employees, Hartwick employees twice, once in our weekly COVID conversation and once in our winter community conversation. I heard from donors about their enthusiasm for FlightPath and about their concerns about the impact of COVID. I heard from members of the strategic response team as they shared their ideas about how to continue to operate in the safest and most sustainable way possible in light of the daily changes that come with COVID. I heard from local government officials about our management of COVID on our campus. I heard from speakers during the O'Connor lecture who talked about self-care in times of stress. During that session, I heard about the relationship of stress to disease and about the number of life stressors that are associated with COVID. And I heard directly from students during 2 virtual meetings this week, one with a small group of 4 students who had concerns about an offensive exchange that happened between students over social media, and another with 45 members of the Student Government Association. In both meetings, we spent much time talking about COVID. And of course, I also heard from many others in my private meetings and through my emails. It was a busy week of listening. But what did I actually hear during these exchanges? Well, I heard about the difficulty of expressing inspirational leadership in the time of COVID, about the struggle to choose between the best of 2 good things. I heard cynicism regarding the veracity of information, distress over full plates that now overflow, worry about the financial downstreams of COVID, exasperation with those who make bad choices, estrangement from having to move from personal space when you're placed into quarantine. I heard the strain of tensions that can arise in the space of social media, of feelings of helplessness because of a lack of control. I heard the disillusionment when people who have different priorities act in ways that controvert your own efforts to remain safe. I heard frustration over the search for a dose of the vaccine, and I heard about the loneliness of COVID. The anxiety over the number of active COVID cases, now 62 on our campus. Sadness over not being able to have a private conversation in person with a good friend who lives in another residence hall. I heard anger over being held accountable for bad choices, fear of catching COVID, fatigue from having to manage our 43 new COVID cases, all students, no employees, on our campus this week. I heard impatience, and I heard about the difficulty of staying healthy during COVID when all you want to do is sit down with a bag of Cheetos and binge on Netflix. This is what I heard over the last week. I heard you. But that is not all I heard. I also heard this. I heard a passion for a campaign that would support flight path success for our students. I heard continued enthusiasm for problem solving together, gratitude for having the support of a trusted colleague. I heard the desire for both justice and understanding. I heard hope. I heard the craving for information and with it, empowerment. I heard encouragement because 43% of our employees have been able to access at least one dose of the vaccine. I heard satisfaction in being able to effectively manage new cases of COVID. And I heard relief that 10 of this week's new COVID positive cases were already in pre-symptomatic quarantine, and that patterns of contact continue to help to explain transmission. I heard a sincere desire to support and care for others. I heard enthusiasm for the future that we're building together. I heard joy that we have an early $1 million commitment to the Flight Path campaign. I heard a longing for success and a willingness to work hard to achieve it. I heard optimism that comes with knowing how the changes we can make, changes in our diet, through self-awareness, in our use of technology, in our physical activity, in our virtual connections with each other, and even in our sleep. How changes in these areas can improve our overall health and well-being, even at a time like this. I heard your confidence in the steps we are taking to manage COVID. I heard eagerness for the relief that will come with the American Rescue Plan that has now been approved by the U.S. Senate. I heard a readiness to do what is necessary to move us forward, a fondness for friends, a gratitude for kindness, and a true pride in being part of this Hartwick community. What I heard this week was that even on days when COVID casts a long shadow, these good things are also true. Our concerns can help to protect us by forcing us to consider how to respond. But we shouldn't let our concerns consume us. Our community sees the good in our world, even during COVID. I heard it directly from you, your resilience and your sense of purpose is showing. So take a deep breath. Think about where your strength comes from and what gives you hope. Think about what makes you smile and connect with that person or belief or idea today. Today is a new day. Today's song is I Smile, as performed by Kirk Franklin. Check out the smiles in this video. Be safe. Please wear your doubled mask. Have a great Sunday.